Okay, Warcry, you win. I'm gonna play. What's up, guys? I want to talk to you about my journey of being pretty disappointed with the release of Warcry and why I'm very excited about it right now. So let's get into it. Since Warcry was announced and released, it has looked visually awesome. Everything about it, the artwork, the theme, just super over the top cool. It's also a place that GW has been flexing their modeling might and releasing some of the best models. So we'll jump right into that right away. This model for Warcry I've wanted to own since I first saw it, but I kept telling myself I don't need it because I'm not playing Warcry. So he has helped me see the light, and this model alone is reason to probably play Warcry because now I have an excuse to buy this guy as soon as the self-quarantine is over, and hopefully he's in stock at my local game store. Literally one of the coolest models they've ever released, I think, especially at, the ogre size level. This thing is, in my mind, pretty much perfection. The other exciting thing about Warcry, on release, they had a cool box set, but it was limited and you didn't get the terrain, or they haven't released the terrain separate. Of course, it could have been out by now, but things got delayed. But they've come out with 2 new books since the release. And if you watch my video where I talk about being disappointed with Warcry and how it's not Mordheim and why I'm not playing, one of the reasons is the campaign level of it was really lacking. And in this new Tome of Champions book, the campaign levels boosted up to a level that I think is going to be pretty fun. Now, this could just be the self-quarantine talking, and I haven't been able to play any games in, 2 months or whatever. But, there's injuries and more adventures, I guess, to take your warband on, and that looks pretty cool. And then the monsters and mercenaries is going to give you an opportunity to buy cool models like that Minotaur, or maybe paint up some of those random little heroes you have floating around. And, at least you have a reason to maybe use them if you don't necessarily want to just get rid of them on eBay. Another huge advantage I see of this game, everything is showing is out of stock right now because they're not shipping to the United States. Although I think these cards pretty much are out of stock. Another huge advantage of this game, the models look amazing. And if you're a good painter, you could sell them if you decide later not to play. And it's a small model count. So let's say I buy all 3 of these, the Crusher, the Spheranx, and the Myrmidon, just super, super awesome. But let's say you're a good painter and you buy any of these 3 models for $40, which, yeah, maybe that's a little high for a single model, but they're fairly large, ogre size. And then you paint them up and you play for a couple months. You're going to easily be able to sell a nicely painted one of these for 80 to maybe $120 on eBay. So if you're investing the time to make your warband look nice, you're also going to protect yourself in the future if you decide you do not like the game, or maybe a new supplement comes out that you don't agree with, and you'll be able to get out. The same goes for the warbands. Easily you could paint these up and sell them for $100, if not $150 or more. And they are amazing. Like, they're still some of the best models I think GW has released in quite some time. I love the Corvus Cabal, and I figured if I buy a second gang, I would easily choose the Corvus Cabal. So I decided to go with my second favorite for my first team, the Unmade. These things are so over the top. The sculpts are insane. They're just some of the coolest looking, like, Chaos Cultist type fighters I've seen. And I'm very excited to play them. I haven't played the game yet, but if you're over on my channel, I have been painting these guys in the terrain on live stream. So we got the models down. We've been watching them. They are so cool. There's a lot of resellability if you're a good painter. And then these GW previews come out, and look at these guys, these Scions of the Flame, and they're sculpting them like they're actually on fire. Now, it's pretty funny. We'll get to them, but all the Warcry models are just simply like incredible. except for one model in this warband. This guy is a beast. Look at those lats. Imagine how many pull-ups he can do. And then you got this guy who's like maybe the most derpy looking. He's got like, it's probably a rock in front of his foot, but he just, I don't know, something about his faux hawk and I don't know. He just seems a little derpy to me, but he's still pretty cool in, you know, standards of miniatures, I guess. And it looks like he's throwing a grenade. But yeah, so check these out. They showed these previews on their online GW preview, and they have been so cool. Some of these Warband's bigger characters, though, who look like they all carry grenades, maybe. I mean, just amazing. These guys are straight out of, like, the coolest sci-fi, or high fantasy setting. Not sci-fi, sorry. This sorcerer, she's, like, blowing fire off of her knife. Amazing. And then this guy is just a beast. He's got that full-on, like, samurai armor with the... I always love when models have flaming helmets like the old Redemptionists or the Flagellants from the Empire. So you see these guys coming out. Their rules, I believe, or they're mentioned in the main rulebook, but nobody's seen their rules yet. So we already got a couple extra supplement books that came out and added more to the game, which I liked. And then we know for sure that there's another book on the way that's going to include these guys, which is awesome because that leaves more room for potential for adding even a little more into the kind of campaign system, whether that be even just a narrative campaign for me and my friends. And then also I do like the idea that there is a bit of room for matched play with this for me, because I do like playing in match play events sometimes at the local store, and especially if I can try and compete for like a best painted. So like I love Blood Bowl, but if I play in a Blood Bowl tournament, I would like to try to compete for best painted Blood Bowl team more than try to pick, you know, the best team and play the absolute best, and so on and so forth. If I play a 40K tournament, I want to try to win best painted. So a game like this with minimum amount of models, you can put in the extra time, make them look great, and maybe win a little bit of store credit at your local store if you decide to jump in on an organized event in matched play. So then they dropped this bombshell a couple weeks later. These guys, the Canite Shadow Stalkers, so awesome. And this is a super unique release that they previewed because this is the first Warcry warband that's not a Chaos warband, which leads me to believe they have many more of these planned. There's no way that just the Dark Elves are the only ones getting a unique warband. And could you imagine how cool it would be if like a Skaven Eshin Ninja Rat clan came out? Oh man, I am on board for that. Now these guys maybe take the ninja aesthetic already, so maybe they won't do the Eshin, but man, the Eshin Rats could use some new models and a new Deathmaster style model. And they did one really cool Skaven in the Warhammer Quest set, so they have designed at least one new cool Skaven model. And check this guy out, kicking it John Woo style with the double pistols, and definitely slit his pants all the way down his inner thigh. So that's maybe the most intimidating outfit ever when you're showing all that inner thigh meat, getting ready for fighting and shooting people. And then this one over here that's like using his cape to like fold out this like shadow magic or something. Just awesome. And if you actually watch the video, there is a fourth one that this guy, here he is. So a lot of people seem to miss this, but he's not shown in the preview below. So they're like, oh, they've only shown us 3 models, but here's the 4th one. And he's got this like blue fireball. Just super cool. He's also, I guess, rocking the inner thigh meat. So that's good. And then on top of that, all my friends, not all of them, of course, but quite a few of my gaming friends all bought warbands, and they've played a little bit of Warcry here and there. And I think with me not playing, they play less than they probably would have, because it's like if all 4 of us are getting together at the game store and 3 of them brought Warcry and I didn't because I didn't have the game, and then we also brought a board game or Gaslands or some other game, we'd all probably play that instead. So not between all of them, they probably haven't played as much Warcry as they wanted. And I think me getting involved in the game will help us all play more, because then we'll all be on board to try it out. And they all seem to like it. Fair enough. And I got really lucky. I had a buddy I had a buddy who happened to have an unopened Warcry starter set with the terrain and rulebook and everything. So I got that starter set. I got the terrain I'm working on my channel over on the streams and videos. I ordered those books they should both be here tomorrow morning. So I'll have all the books. At the end of the week, the local game stores here in Arizona should be opening back up for shopping. And I'm going to go see if I can't grab myself Myrmidon Ogroid Minotaur. And then just a couple finishing notes. I want to give a shout out to a couple really cool Warcry YouTube channels. Now, there's not a ton of Warcry content on YouTube. Actually, I've been super pumped to get into it now that I've been sitting here in self-quarantine for a month or whatever. Like, I've been trying to track down all the best Warcry content I can, and it's been getting me excited to play, but there's just really not a lot. There's a few channels that are, some of the bigger channels that are kind of, cranking out, not even cranking out, they're kind of releasing some, battle reports that aren't particularly entertaining or anything. But this channel here, How To War Games, they have quite a bit of Warcry content. They release, you can see here, a lot of Warcry battle reports. Almost every battle report is like 2 different warbands fighting. It doesn't seem like they really go heavy on competitive, which I think is probably good when you're mixing and matching all these warbands, because I'm sure from my research and stuff on YouTube, if you go competitive, there's a few warbands I think that maybe stand out a little bit above the others. But one big thing about this channel, and I highly, highly suggest you check them out, and if you go watch some Warcry on their channel, leave a comment and say the Redbeard boss sent you over, because they're at 500 subs, so we got to get them up to 1,000. But they actually seem like they're having a lot of fun playing it. Like, genuinely, the game is maybe simple enough that the battle reports can be filmed with relative ease, and the players seem to actually be having quite a good time. Although 2 of the 3 players I've seen so far seem like, they're probably not super competitive. And the main host guy, this gentleman here, I think he's aware of maybe making his warband stronger, but tries to tone it down a little bit for the others' fun. So check these guys out. How To War Games, awesome channel for Warcry battle reports. It's the best ones I've seen so far. And if you actually like battle reports that maybe people are having fun instead of cranking it out like it's their full-time job, this one's definitely worth checking out. This next one here, Dice Chatter. This guy, he's got 2.7k subs, and he's doing all kinds of cool stuff over on his channel. He's got basing, he's got terrain builds, but most importantly for the topic of this video, he does Warcry battle reports. Now, he's pretty unique that the Warcry battle reports he does, I'm 99% sure he's playing by himself, which is not really great for, I guess, a battle report, because he knows his next move for each warband. Now, if he's playing with an opponent and actually sees this, let me know. And I really think his battle reports would be even better if he had an opponent to play with. But the way he goes through and does the silly voices for the characters in the beginning intro, and then just really almost like a voice actor kind of narrates out the game, it's actually pretty entertaining. And even though I'm almost positive he's playing with himself, he's makes a pretty good battle report. And once again, these Warcry battle reports are only like 20 minutes, right? 10, 15 minutes. So that's a pretty solid amount of time to, put a battle report on while you're airbrushing some base coats or putting some wash on some models and then have to wait for it to dry. Start one of these battle reports and check it out. And I think you'll like it. So if you check out Dice Chatter or How To War Games, let them know the Redbeard boss sent you. And if you're excited about Warcry, who's late to the game, like me, definitely let me know in the comments what got you in, what pulled you in. Was it a pandemic and you're just bored at home? Was it just the visuals of it became overwhelming? Did GW force you? I mean, are they bullying us into buying their products and making us play their games? Maybe. So that's all I got for right now. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think about Warcry. I'd also really be interested if you have played in a organized Warcry event, like a tournament. I'd love to hear about that. Or if you have a video about that, link it to me. I'd love to watch it. And I'd really also be interested if you were all in on Warcry when it came out and you've actually decided you don't like it, and now let me know the reasons why you decided to leave. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, check out my Warcry painting content, and buy some ghost paintbrushes and support the channel. Thank you so much.